Hey y'all, what's up? What going on? It's your girl Nika of Traveling with Nika, and I am back with a new video for y'all. So welcome back to all of my subscribers who have been here and watch all of my videos, and welcome if you're new. Definitely hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss other videos from your girl. So today we're going to be actually recapping my experience flying with Breeze Airways, which is a fairly new airline. Literally, they were established in like 2018, if I'm not mistaken. So they're very new. People do compare them to other low-cost carrier airlines like Spirit and Frontier. I personally think that Breeze Airways is a little bit higher up than like a Spirit or Frontier, but I obviously wouldn't compare it to like a Delta Airlines, for example. So let's talk about my experience. So first things first is the cost. I was flying to Madison, Wisconsin, and I purchased a one-way flight for $59. So for that price, I did not have a seat selection. I also did not have a carry-on included or a check bag included. So I purchased the basic flight that did not include any of those things. However, they do have packages where you could technically, purchase the higher package where it would have those different things included. When it came to purchasing the flight, it was super easy to do on their website, and they also have an app, which I found it was easy to navigate as well. Prior to checking in for the flight, they actually sent reminders via text and also email. So I think that their communication system was pretty good as well. So 24 hours before the flight, I was actually able to check in using their app, and I got my digital boarding pass. They did also remind me that if I wanted to like prepay for a carry-on, which is about $30, and a check bag, which was $35, I could also do those things in the app. So for sure, if you want to do that, you can definitely do that. And because I was literally traveling with just a personal item, I didn't have to worry about going to the airport to check in at the counter. So I don't have first-hand experience with those individuals. Once I got to the airport, I actually went to the lounge to have breakfast. This was a very early flight, y'all. So I went to the lounge to have breakfast. I know that they were not going to be offering me personally like any complimentary snack, things like that. So I made sure that I ate before going on my flight, which was definitely a great idea because it also allowed me to simply just sleep for majority of the flight because again, it was super early in the morning. So let's talk about the boarding process. I actually got notified that the flight was boarding as I was leaving the lounge. So that ended up working out pretty good because by the time I got there, there wasn't like a long line at all. One of the other things during the boarding process is I didn't see that they had any bag sizers that were near our gate. However, I did see a bag sizer prior to me going to my gate. So I quickly just put my personal item on like the carry-on bag sizer, which you guys will be able to see on the screen that of course my personal item was smaller than your typical carry-on. However, I don't really know how they would measure like your personal item because obviously it's supposed to be less than the carry-on, but with the bag sizer that I saw, they didn't have like another line showing like the measurements exactly for the personal item. I know that my personal item would have been fine, but in terms of being able to show you guys like visually, I can't really help you with that. But I used the same personal item that I would pretty much use for Frontier and Spirit Airlines. And I normally am okay using that bag that I purchased on Kohl's many years ago, but I will link in the description similar bags that you can purchase on Amazon. So now we're gonna get back into the seats. As I told you guys, I did not purchase anything extra. I just let them also select my seat. Once I was checking in for my flight 24 hours before, I was able to get a window seat. So I definitely was happy with that automatic selection, and I saved myself money by not having to worry about that. So when it comes to the seat, Breeze Airways actually have like 3 types of like seats available. So they have a first class, which is called their Ascent, and it actually looked really nice. Like I could see myself probably doing like an upgrade or something like that if I wanted to experience it for another flight in the future. So I would consider the second section that they're marketing as extra legroom as comparable to what you would get like on Delta as Comfort Plus, or like on United as what you would get as like Economy Plus. That's kind of what I would compare it to, because it's more so for getting the extra leg room. And they do also give you a carry-on if you do purchase that type of seat. The last type of seats that they offer is just the standard seats, and that's where I was sitting. So again, I was able to get a window seat, and honestly, the flight was not full at all. So I ended up having a complete row for myself because they were able to move around the people that were going to be initially in my row. So because there was tons of overhead bin space as well, I didn't even have to worry about putting my personal item underneath my seat. I just put it in the overhead bin because again, the flight had plenty of space to comfortably fit their bags, whether it was under the seat or in the overhead bins. The legroom on the flight, even in the standard section, was really good. I mean, I know that I'm 5'4", so trying to like compare like legroom as a shorter person, I kind of always be like, I mean, it's going to always kind of work out for me unless it's like super, super tight. And this definitely was not my experience on Breeze Airways. So definitely can't complain about the space at the seat at all. I was super comfy. And one of the things also with their seats is that they actually do have the adjustable headrest, and you could kind of like move them. So I was like, okay, this is why, again, like I do think that they're a little above some of those other like low cost carriers, because if you guys have flown on those airlines, you know that they don't really have much of anything going on. Like at the seats is just pretty plain, pretty simple, no type of things that you could really use for like comfort, I would say, that's like at the seat already. So definitely they got some additional points just for that. On the flight, there was Wi-Fi available for purchase, but if you did have some of the other seating, like obviously sitting in first class, the extra leg room area, you do have Wi-Fi available. However, if you were not, you could pay $8 to be able to have full access Wi-Fi on the plane. However, I think which is a great perk of Breeze Airways is they actually offer you free messaging on the app. So you would be able to have access to WhatsApp and iMessage and things like that for free, which I did log in while on the flight, and it worked seamlessly. So definitely points for that for sure. As I mentioned, I did go to the lounge prior to me boarding my flight, so I personally did not experience like the in-flight food and beverage service, but it was available, and they did have like a menu where you could be able to see all the things that they are offering and the cost for these items as well. So if you would maybe like to purchase, you know, snacks and drinks on the flight, definitely be prepared to be able to make those purchases, you know, with a debit or a credit card. So honestly, I would absolutely be flying Breeze Airways again. I personally felt that for the price point, they offered a very good product and a good service as well on board, and even like at the gate when we were boarding the plane, everyone seemed super nice, especially when the flight attendants were talking to us and, you know, asking people like in the rows if they wanted to kind of like move around and things like that because they had all this space. It was definitely a great experience with my first time flying with Breeze Airways, and I do hope to check out more of their offerings and see other states and cities that they are flying to, because that may be a way for me to be able to see more states for the low, because you guys know that I want to see all 50 states, and I'm now on 32 out of 50. So that's a wrap for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed my recap of flying with Breeze Airways for the first time, and if you want to check them out, I do hope that you have a great flying experience with them too. See y'all. Bye.